This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, what's going on? What do you got for us?
Hey, John. Well, I've got something about my thoughts about a series I've been reading for a little while now. Well, not really a little while, but almost 4 years, it seems like 5 years actually. It's like because wow, it's like not only did COVID really put out delays for all sorts of comics, but also all sorts of specialist comics that were being authored by one specific individual. I'm talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates. It's work on Black Panther. Now, flashback to the year of our Lord 2016. It's we were all getting ready for Captain America: Civil War, which among other things was set to introduce one T'Challa to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or T'Challa as he was portrayed in Captain America: Civil War. It's the son of the King of Wakanda, T'Chaka. It's and how things kind of went sideways for him after his father was killed in an assassination attempt that was forced on Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. But it's the short version is that T'Chaka's T'Challa's introduction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe went over really well. It's and Chadwick Boseman acquitted himself quite well in the role. It's so basically everyone was kind of primed for a brand new Black Panther series. It's and well, it's when it came to giving everyone a new Black Panther series, Marvel was looking to do something reach beyond its usual staple of writers. It's in fact, this was coming at after Jonathan Hickman had been using the character to a great effect in his Avengers storyline, following up on the on Namor's flooding of Wakanda. It's and playing up the rivalry that the two had. It's as members of the Illuminati. It's as they were trying to save Marvel, save the Marvel universe from let's see, from the from the incursions from other worlds in the multiverse. And it was as Hickman was delivering his big Uber storyline. And especially when we got to the Secret Wars part of the arc, where the Marvel universe has been destroyed, and Doctor Doom had basically been trying to enclose his hands over what was left. That Coates basically expresses admiration for what Hickman was trying to do. And when it's a well-respected author who had accumulated a large readership in the pages of the Atlantic and through his books, including the National Book Award-winning Between the World and Me. It's well, when he says hey, I like what you're doing, Marvel. Marvel is kind of akin to saying, hey, sir, you've got your own audience. We'd like some part of that as well. And so that's kind of how how Coates wound up writing the new Black Panther series that debuted in 2016. And his first arc was a 12-issue epic called A Nation Under Our Feet. And while this series launched to blockbuster sales, 300,000 copies for for the first issue. Because man, you told me hey, a Black Panther comic was going to sell 300,000 copies in the year of our Lord 2016. I told you, hey, pull the other one, sir. But no, this is a blockbuster launch, and this is where I'd love to say that the storyline itself was genuinely inspired, but no, it was not. In fact, Coates' run over the course of Black Panther is one that basically showcases the problems when you've got a writer coming from another medium, we're coming into the realm of comics. A Nation Under Our Feet, even at 12 issues, feels its length. It's basically the story of T'Challa basically trying to get his get his house in order. After after revolutionary aspects from nefarious means, such as the vegetation controller, like Tetu, and the it's like in the mind controller Zenzi. It's like they're like that's kind of like a decent enough like plot for like hey, it's like you're fighting against like like these people who are trying to like take your kingdom. That's okay, that's fine. But then you've also got like the members like of the it's like of the Door of the Malage, the like the elite guard to the it's like to the king of Wakanda. It's like also it's like feeling left out as well, because one of them it's like went out on a it's like on a vigilante mission to kill some slavers, but now she's like facing the wrath of the it's like the royal court. And after it's like after her girlfriend rescues her, it's like, well, like now they're kind of like at odds with like the king, with the with the throne of Wakanda as well. And at the same time, though, it's like T'Challa is also dealing with what happened to his sister Shuri. It's like, and she's left in stasis after the events of time runs out, when it's like when Thanos and his Black Order came to take over it's like Wakanda. So this is an arc that has like that sounds like it has a lot of stuff like going on with it, and then it brings in like guys like Ezekiel Stane to like to troll T'Challa as well. But at the same time, this isn't an arc that feels like it was like like telling like very action heavy. It's like it's basically a lot of talk about the future of it's like of Wakanda, its throne. It's like the memory, it's like the memory plane, the like the Jala. It's like and what like Shuri is doing there. It's like there's lots and lots of talk. It's like and it really like feels it's like its length and like the depth of exposition that's going on here. It's like artists Brian Steelfreeze and Chris Sprouse, like they do good stylish work. It's like in the course of this, but they aren't quite able to like elevate this like the level of talk that's going on here, because it kind of feels like that Coates came in here with the idea of like, hey, I want to turn Wakanda from a monarchy into a democracy. It's like, and he does kind of do that, but like his the fact that he's like like a prose author transitioning to a comics writer like a setup, you really feel this as the series, like as this first arc goes on here. And really it's like A Nation Under Our Feet is like easily the weakest of his arcs on here. Like, and it's also like really underscored when, well, it's like if you buy this arc, definitely buy the like the hardcover edition that contains all three of the three volumes, the first three volumes of this series, because in order to pad out the length, because Marvel doesn't like releasing like like 4-issue trade collections, which they should have just done this like two 6-issue collections, but they did like 3 4-issue collections, and each of these collections are padded out by past issues from the Black Panther's history. The most damaging of which, though, is in the final volume, when you get like bits from Jonathan Hickman's like Avengers run, especially the Time Runs Out portion. It's like, and you get to see like, okay, this is how you do dialogue driven superhero stories, where the action, it's like it's played out like through like what everyone's insinuating here. It's like, and it just shows you in that, it's like, and what Hickman does is just in the issues that they compile for the final, like for volume 3, it's like they're just like so much better than what you get from what Coates is doing there, that it's kind of like, man, it's like you should have picked something else. Should have given us another classic Panther adventure from the 70s or so. But that was only the first arc, because the second arc, titled Avengers of the New World, is also a 12 issue arc. It's like, and it basically asks a question of like, well, it's like, what were the gods of Wakanda doing? It's like when it's like, like in like over the course of the first arc, because we get word that things are going wrong throughout Wakanda. There's drought, famine, all that good stuff. But it turns out that hey, and then when we start off like this new arc, we find out that demons from Wakanda's past are also being brought back as well. And T'Challa realizes that hey, it's like none of the old gods like the Orisha are present. So what is going on here? So he's got to find. So this guy has to find a way to deal with the advent of these new problems, while also finding out just what happened to the old gods. Oh, best of all though is that he has to do this while dealing with his ex-wife. That would be Storm of the X-Men. And I like the way that that Coates writes their relationship. It's they've got their issues, but they're basically portrayed as two people who genuinely love each other and want to do right by each other. So it's actually cool to see them working together. And also have Storm give play lay out her powers in a way that she's basically being regarded as a god. In Wakanda. Basically they're saying yeah, we know that that your marriage was annulled by the king in a previous storyline, but hey, we still love you. And it's cool to see Storm just just live up to her A-list power status here. And in fact, Avengers of the New World is definitely an improvement over Nation under our feet. But there's still lots of exposition and talk here that just kind of feels just kind of I'm waiting to get to the good stuff here. I mean, Coates does a better job of getting to the good stuff here. He's aided here by art from Steelfreeze is out at this point, because even though he's good, he's not a book a month guy. Wilfredo Torres illustrates most of the first volume, with Chris Sprouse checking in for a couple of issues, and Sprouse illustrates in one issue in the subsequent volume. But most of those are handled by by Leonard Kirk, and it's also in this volume is probably one of the most superhero centric of them, because like I said, we bring in Storm, but we also get to deal with Ezekiel Stane again. It's and also one of Black Panther's key arch enemies, Ulysses Claw, the Sonic villain, who is trying to obtain all the vibranium in Wakanda, but is also doing so in order to resurrect his dead sister here as well. And I like that Coates gives Claw a more human motive for his villainy in this arc, and that's good. I also like the fact that there's one issue where that is essentially a silent one, and that's kind of that plays out really well. Just he Coates and Leonard Kirk work really well. It's together to to let you know what's going on in the issue, give a nice tense tense storyline, as one of the Dora Milaje has to break in to Two Claw's stronghold, just to break out of the prison and then break into their stronghold to rescue her girlfriend. And that's pretty strong work right there. But it does kind of fall apart a bit at the end, when we find out that Claw wasn't the real villain of this storyline. It was actually the adversary, which okay, it's I get what you're trying to do right here. It's being standard comic stuff when you realize that, oh no, it's not this guy that was a real threat. It's this other guy who is even more of a threat. And it's fine. But it's the Avengers of the New World is, like I said, it's an improvement over the previous storyline, but it's not quite in the level to say that, hey, it's this series is something I'm going to recommend to everyone and tell that they should get. Well, because it turns out that that after that, it's there must have been some rethinking, after Avengers of the New World, and on the eve of the release of the Black Panther movie, Marvel and Coates must have like had some kind of like head to head and thought like, okay, so what can we do in order to really take this storyline to the next level? And I like to think that like Coates basically came back to Marvel and said, hey, you know what? I got an idea. We're gonna send T'Challa out into space. We're gonna tell the story of the Wakanda shuttles that he launched in it's like in Jonathan Hickman's run. It's like, and it turns out that these that 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 this storyline like would be the best one yet. This, in fact, like this, like when I read the first volume of the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, it's like I thought, wow, this is actually really good. This is like it's like all it's like what's being done here is actually like more entertaining. It's like and gripping and engaging than what anything that Coates has done so far to this point. Yes, it's kind of like it is a bit confusing at first because it starts off with like with T'Challa and his memory's been stripped. He's amnesiac and he's trying to figure out so what's been done, like what's been done to him, like as he's like basically a slave in an out. It's like in a colony like out in the outer reaches of the universe, and he's rescued by members of these of this resistance fighters called the Maroons, because the Maroons are fighting against this intergalactic empire of Wakanda. Because you see, it's like, and this is something that's eventually made clear later on. Well, the T'Challa had basically had a pet project to figure out just where did vibranium come from, and so he launched like these shuttles to find out to find out where it did at the end of Hickman's Avengers run, the very end of Secret Wars, if you want to be specific about it. And the thing is though, it's like due to the effects of of time dilation as they jumped, well, it's like these shuttles jumped 2,000 years back in time. And so when they reached that point in the universe where they're trying to go, well, things were not good for them. And so they basically were forced to fight a defensive war that soon became a conquestive war that soon spawned an empire that lorded over 5 different star systems. It's like in the far reaches of the universe for 2,000 years. And so when T'Challa, was just worried that, hey, I had not heard anything back from these people that I had sent out into the far reaches of space. Well, I'm going to go out with my best bud, Eden Fessy, also known as the Avenger Manifold, the guy who can teleport stuff over in infinite spaces, mostly through questions of need. It's like, well, they're going out to the far reaches to find out what happened, and well, it's like, well, they were initially welcomed by the Empire. Eventually, it's like they T'Challa found out just what the Empire was based on. It's like, because they basically this idea of Wakanda as it's a great black society that is the best of everyone. Well, it's basically been built on back of slavery for the last 2,000 years. They're the Wakandans are basically stripped its servants of their memories in order to make them more complacent, and that worked for a good long while until they did to T'Challa, because hey, even stripped of his memory, it's like he is still a fighter, he is still a liberator, and he's not going to take things lying down. And that's what we get from the first volume, and it's aided by some really great art from Daniel Acuna, who is really one of my favorite artists from Marvel. It's like, because I love his lush painterly style. I mean, it doesn't look like your average superhero stuff. It's like, and I just and just the level of detail that he brings to his work. It's so great. It's great to look at. I mean, even when he's being rushed, it's in certain parts, it's still I still like looking at his stuff. It's great work, and he's the main artist through 3 of these volumes. The second of which is done by Kev Walker, who basically runs with his more detailed cartoonist style that he'd been developing in the course of hey, Jonathan Hickman's Avengers issues, and also Kieron Gillen's Dr. Aphra issues as well. It's like, and it's that his work is great. It's like as are the standalone issues from Jen Bartel in talking the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda starts in like volume 6 of the series, and she does and Bartel does standalone issues in 6 and 7. Chris Sprouse comes back doing like a standalone issue in volume 8. And they do good work. It's like they're basically doing like the backstory of how did the Empire get this way? Because it turns out that it's current king Najadaka, who, if you might remember that, hey, that's also the name of Killmonger. It's like, Black Panther's nemesis. Well, this guy has it's like he's got his own ambitions as well. It's like he's not Killmonger, but he's definitely realizes that, hey, even if I'm not meant to be the steward of this empire, I want to run it myself. But the thing is, though, is that even though the goddess Bast has anointed him the caretaker, it's like she's not going to turn it over to him willingly until it's like he finds a way to do this in the first volume, which is really cool because it shows that Coates also has an awareness of what's going on in the Marvel universe, because it turns out that, well, it's Najadaka is able to get his hands on a symbiote. And when I say symbiote, I mean, like something like Venom. So, and that's basically how he was able to usurp Bast's rule. It's like, and basically become the leader of the empire itself, and also to condemn T'Challa to slavery. But these final 4 volumes, it's are basically the best of Coates' run. It basically shows that he's learned from from doing the first 25 issues of his run. It's like he realizes, hey, you know what? This is what you do in order to tell quality superhero comics. You need to give it a big a big solid high concept in order to put your hero through a big challenge to show you what the main character can do. It's like, and all, but it's also paired against his own social leaning as well, because it's just telling us about how an empire can thrive when it strips its its subjects of its workforce of its memory. And this works. It's very entertaining. He does a good job of showing the mind wipe T'Challa's growth, from slave to hero to back to the man he used to be. And it also but also shows him asking questions how could I not know what my what kind of empire was doing? But that's because they had 2,000 years to perfect the idea that hey, we're an empire. We're not running this on slavery. No, not really. It's very good. It's very entertaining. And if I'm going to ding it for anything, I would have liked to have seen more of what day-to-day life was like for these for the Empire of Wakanda. Just show what's it like for the average person, because we're told that hey, it's a party every day, man. And and even then some are still willing to join the Maroons in their fight against Najadaka. But I would have liked to have seen more about what the what the average life was like for the average citizen, of the unknowing citizen of the Empire of Wakanda. And also it's more could have been done with with Najadaka as well. And I'm not just talking about Emperor Najadaka. I'm talking about the actual one that comes back, because, well, it wouldn't be a Black Panther story, I guess, if he didn't have to confront Killmonger again, and that's what happens in the mainly in the final volume, which I mean, this. I like the fact that that Killmonger is basically like presented as being it's like someone who is it's like someone who is like at odds with the way he was brought back, because basically the symbiote is able to resurrect him, but it also is in the symbiote is also enthralled to the to Emperor Najatika's memory, and so like you've got like Killmonger versus like this Najatika in a symbiote. And I like like seeing like villains struggle, but at the same time like see this like brought up in like the final volume. It's kind of like, yeah, I wanted like this threat to be like I wanted like more there. It's like I wanted like like a longer like setup between like the hero and his main villain. It's like in his main antagonist. So, but the final volume actually does a good job of of giving us like a nice big climax to the story. It's now that it's after like T'Challa has made it back to Earth. Well, he's got to deal with like this empire that is coming to it's like coming to destroy everyone on the planet, and it's basically like every major African American superhero. It's like in the Marvel universe is being called on to like to fight here, because that's basically all they need, and it's pretty great. It's like I like the next to last issue, which is basically a it's close to a silent issue, as I guess Prodigy marshals the like all the different threats that all the different like resources that T'Challa has amassed like against the against the Empire, and it's pretty great. And Acuna's art is solid here, and as is Ryan Bodenheim's work like in this final volume. It's like he's, even though like the cover credits are mistaken, because because Chris Sprouse and Carl Story like contributed to the previous volume, it's Ryan Bodenheim who like contributes to several issues here, along with Brian Steelfreeze, who comes back like for the final issue. It's like help deal with the fallout. But this yeah, but overall it's like I think like I said, there are some issues. Like I wish I had known more about the Empire itself. I wish there'd been more setup with the fight with with Killmonger. But overall it's like I think that that like Coates, Acuna, it's like and Boneheim do a good job of selling like this big epic fight as a closeout to Coates' run. And if I'm being honest, it's like I think that you really only need to read like these final 4 volumes, because I mean, yeah, it's like reading everything that came before. Like Coates does bring in like bits from it to like to show you that hey, it's like he hadn't forgotten about what he had been doing like for the first 2 years. But I think that like what's being done here in the final 4 volumes, it's really, you can enjoy it on its own terms. Yes, reading the first 5 volumes, it's like will give you some context for like the characters like that are involved here, but it's these final 4 volumes I think that that Coates really hits his stride as a writer. It's like and in telling an epic Black Panther story for the ages. Maybe it's not quite like the definitive Black Panther story, but it's very entertaining. It's like, and I do recommend it to people who are looking for a good story about the character. So yeah, there's that. It's like I enjoyed those final 4 volumes. 5 volumes that came before, kind of iffy on those. But in Galactic Empire of Wakanda, it's like we get a good solid Black Panther story from those 4 volumes right there.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. So it sounds like a recommend from you.
Volumes 1 through 5, not so much. Volumes 6 through 9, definitely.
Okay. All right. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
It's like it could be anything, could be nothing, but it's probably going to be Grant Morrison's run on Green Lantern.
All right. And we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
Laters.